All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, as always, joined by Kaelyn, my co-host, and Archie is joining the fold
That's
today.
Kaelyn. How's it going?
Welcome, Archie, to the fold.
Yes.
It's weird. Like, we don't have a guest very often, so it's nice that you're able to join us this time. But as always, we are the Mainstream Podcast. We're going to be discussing what's going on in the world of MMA. The Olympics have just started. Are either of you fans of the Olympic combat sports or even the Olympics in general?
I have not watched the Olympics in a very long time.
Oh my!
Well, they happen every 4 years, so I can understand why.
Even so, it has been longer, way longer than that. So,
yeah, no, I'm a fan, especially because of the sport of wrestling. We came out to be a close friend after he won the Olympic gold medal. Henry Cejudo, he came to Selma after he won his gold medal in Beijing. And so even before that, I follow the Olympics. And then now, especially this year, we have a local in Tulare from Richard Torres Jr. He's a USA boxing heavyweight Olympian. So he's actually in the team, and he'll be fighting, I'm guessing, a couple of weeks or whenever they come up. Yeah, I've been kind of keeping up with it, and kind of found out there's not going to be no spectator, no audience, no fans. Yeah.
No audience this time. But it's not like we'd be able to be there anyways because it's happening in Tokyo. So we'll get to watch it on TV when it goes down. I'm looking forward to, of course, the combat sports, boxing, judo, wrestling. They added karate. Muay Thai will be in the Olympics.
That's awesome.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see how that goes and what that's like. So,
was it 2028?
Yeah,
they'll be in LA. There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, way more.
I already have intentions on going to at least a few of the Olympic Games that are going to be going down in La La Land.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
That's 7 years from now. Not too bad. So LA was awarded those shows at Summer Olympics?
Yes.
Of course, it's summer. Wow, nice. I kind of a fan of the Olympics. I missed that one.
Damn it, Archie.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Let me do a little bit of stuff I should have done before the show, but I just didn't do it. I'll be honest. But we're gonna get to it right now. That's the fights for this weekend, but we're going to backtrack to talk about Bellator, which happened the previous weekend. And all right, I'm just going to gloat right now. First of all, I went 5-0 on my picks. Woo. Yeah. All right, that's all I really wanted to gloat about. Go ahead and run through this. We had Johnny Eblen versus Travis Davis. Eblen won by decision. And then Arlene Billencow versus Diana Silva. Arlene got the TKO. I'm just so excited as I go through these because I know I picked everyone right. Oh man. CJ Hamilton did not get the win, but Matthias Matos won. And then the fight we discussed at great length as it pertains to Bellator, Matt Mitrione, he lost to Tyrell Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, not shocked. I mean,
one of them has to lose. When you got heavyweights, you never know what's going to happen. And especially with Matt Mitrione, you don't know what's going to happen.
I'm not set on him. I never have been.
You can't bet on him.
Exactly. And then Juliana Velasquez retains her belt by decision.
Her perfect record as well.
I did see this fight, actually.
Still perfect. What did you think about that fight, Archie?
Yeah, this was a great fight. As a matter of fact, the champion, she really was getting it handed to her, but she did get the edge. But it made her work. You know what I mean? That other girl, I'm sorry, what was her name? Denise?
Yes.
It was just like another opponent for her because she was just pressuring and punching, and she was getting hit. But the champion knew that all 5 rounds was going to be a war, and it came out to a decision, right, James? I think so.
Yes, It ended up being a decision.
It was
and
a
the
good
champion
fight.
retained and remains undefeated. And I'm undefeated on this card. For Pitt. Woo! All right. There we go. That's into my gloating. And that was the Bellator MMA fight card for last week. And now we're going to move on to the UFC Fight Night that happened last week as well. Just to go through this quickly, and then we can move on to the fights going on this weekend. Actually, you know what, Kaelyn? I'm going to let you take this. You watched the fights. I unfortunately did not.
All right. This one with Benitez and Quarantillo was a pretty good fight. I think this might have been my favorite fight on this fight card. I was a little surprised, but Quarantillo had, the better of him for each round. Really exciting. He got a kind of like a body slam, I guess. I don't know what sorry, I'm not an expert in jiu-jitsu, but he was in the top position on the ground, just kind of picked him up and slammed him down on his back. It was pretty cool. Pretty early.
You got it right.
Yeah. And he was an eye poke happened in round 2, which is always disappointing. One thing I want to point out that was pretty funny and a little strange, during that time, the doctor comes in and checks you out and asks you, can you see, can you not see, whatever. He says he can see and it's fine. And then right before he walks out, he's like, do you have a headache? He asked the guy if he had a headache.
That does stand out. Yeah,
and it's so funny because you can hear Michael Bisping in the back saying, a headache? The dude's being punched in the head. What do you think? Like, that was the most absurd question to ask a fighter in the middle of a fight. Do you have a headache? It's like, yeah, you probably do have a headache. Just gonna guess. But Benitez did come back in round 3 for a little while. Got a knockdown actually, but Billy came back and took control and finished him. So it was a good fight. I like that one. Is action packed for sure.
Yeah, if I can, I do remember seeing this fight. I know I saw a few fights. I just didn't remember all the names, but yeah, they call him Billy Q, right?
Billy Q, yeah.
Yeah, and I do remember that incident where the referee was checking him out, and then Bisping was like, "Of course he has a headache. He's fighting."
Like, what do you think? I've never heard a ref ask that, and I didn't know, like, if he were to say yes, would that stop the fight? Who cares? Really. Yeah, he has a headache.
As a matter of fact, do you have any ibuprofen?
Yeah, can I get some of that and then continue? Thank you.
All right. Billy Q got the win in the 3rd round at 340 by, was it knockout or TKO?
TKO.
Yeah, it was a stoppage.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we have a middleweight bout with Rodolfo Vieira versus Dustin. Sorry. My allergies, they're all bad. All bad. All right. What did you guys think about this fight?
I thought it started off kind of, I don't know, it didn't really grab my attention too much. But Vieira eventually gets to sub in round 3. So that was cool. A couple good exchanges there, but nothing that really stood out that I would really, remember. Especially after watching that first fight. I kind of didn't really care after that, but it was a good fight. And I'm glad he got the finish.
Archie, did you happen to catch this bout?
I didn't catch any that bout, much of that. No, not enough to comment. But
all right. Well, Vieira got the win by submission. We're gonna keep going up this card. Jeremy Stephens versus Gamrat. I'm just gonna say his last name because that sounds like a villain name.
It
like
does.
I'm pretty sure he's fought some superheroes
like
or some heroes somewhere. So Gamrat gets the win over Stephens in the first round by a minute 5 in. Wow.
Yeah, this was crazy.
I felt like there was a little bit of it seemed like a push behind Stephens to kind of like, all right, but yet we discussed this last week, and Stephens unfortunately is on the backside of his career. So
yeah, especially
I'm not surprised.
Especially after that incident for his last fight, he was supposed to have ended up pushing the guy at weigh-ins and gave him a concussion, I guess. So that fight never came through. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. So
wait a minute, you're gonna get paid thousands of dollars in one day. Hold on.
Yeah, I know.
I see this fight.
Before.
Yeah,
But,
this is like a quick submission. You're right.
It was fast. He grabbed control very early, took him down, and just that was it.
What sub did he use?
I don't remember. I don't know.
RG?
I want to say rear naked.
No,
really?
Did he take his back?
I don't think that's what it was. He had his arm, I think. I don't know. I have to go back and watch it because it was a little hard to see. He was up against a cage, so it was a little hard to see. But he was cranking on his arm, though, I thought. So maybe a Kimura. I'm not sure. Don't listen to me. But
Jeremy Stevens lost, and Kaelyn. Look here. That was your pick. So I got the right pick with Gamrat.
You know what? It was a Kimura. You're so right. This guy came like from a side control. And he just did that. He got that one arm, and he kind of stood on his body. When he kind of sat on his body, that guy, he angled him out, and he just sat on him and worked that arm until he just tapped him out with that Kimura. Yeah, good job. And thanks for jumping.
I'm not mad at that because Jeremy Stevens kind of pissed me off with what he did before at that last weigh-in and destroyed that fight. So. Yeah, it is what it is.
Well, he went into this fight and then got destroyed. So, one good turn deserves another.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have Viselia's Marion Reneau versus Misha Tate. Now, Kaelyn, you picked Tate. I picked Reneau just because fan favorite, being from the Valley and what have you. Mm-hmm. What were you guys' thoughts on this fight?
I'm not surprised at all with what happened in this fight. Misha Tate's always been good. I didn't really expect her to not be good after, having however long a layoff that was for her. She looked really good anyways, even better than she has been before she kind of took some time off. But not surprised. Misha Tate looks stronger in every way. They had some pretty good exchanges in the first round. They both actually looked pretty good in their striking in the first round. But Misha Tate just went for those takedowns and got that. So she clearly was dominant. But I did want Marion Reneau to win, though. I really did. I just knew Misha Tate was probably going to get the best of her, though. But it was a good fight, and Misha Tate did really well.
Yeah, I feel the same way as far as the first round. I actually, because of the favorite and whatnot, I thought Reneau did enough to win the first round. Very close, maybe. But because I don't think she got taken down the first round. Did they go down? Probably not. But the second and third round, you could see that the edge kind of started going towards Misha. But heck, Marion never stopped punching him. And she's a great puncher, and she got in there. She closed the distance quite well. I mean, that's what she does good. She closes the distance pretty well.
She has some pretty good knees there too. I always noticed that in her fight. She always just really on the clinch and throws those knees. So.
What statistics are those? Strikes.
These are strikes, total strikes, significant strikes, and takedowns. 3 takedowns.
Yeah, and after those takedowns, I guess I forgot how good Misha Tate was on takedowns because she controlled the ground pretty, okay. And I actually expected, and I think Marion did go for a triangle, one of those takedowns, and it might have been close. I don't know, but it would have been so cool to see a triangle come from there. And I was looking for a good jiu-jitsu move from Marion, from the ground.
Well, and this was her last fight. So Marion Reneau retired after this. Definitely fans over here, and she will definitely be missed inside the cage.
44 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. That's a strong lady.
But also welcome back to Misha Tate because, Misha Tate, she was badass before she took some time off, and I'm glad to see her return. I wonder who they have ideas who they're going to match her up against, but I wonder who
Holly Holmes.
Immediate. Have they decided that, or is that just kind of
Holly Holmes kind of decided that? I think she kind of put that out there just to see, and maybe it'll happen. Probably.
Yeah, but Holly Holmes, I did see Holly Holmes kind of starting to promote that. Hey, I think I should fight Misha.
Which is crazy, which is really cool because that would be a really hard fight for Holly Holm, though. It really would be a hard fight for her.
You think so?
Plus from the first one that they had, yeah. But I like Holly Holm so much because she always goes for those hard fights. She doesn't try to take the easy way out. I feel like she wants to go in there and do it just for the sport of fighting. So she always usually calls out some pretty good opponents that would be a hard fight for her. And this would definitely be a hard fight for her. I don't know where Misha Tate would go right after that or how many fights it would take for her to win to probably fight Amanda Nunes. I don't know. And I don't know what would happen in that fight.
I feel like it's just a situation. You give her a fight. If she performs really well, catapults her to that status. But it just depends. It depends on if she's able to work herself up the rankings.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Holly Holmes ranked?
Oh.
That, I'm not
I
sure.
don't remember. I don't think it's very high, though.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because
She
Marion
might
was
be
ranked
8 or
12.
something. She might be
Yes,
around there.
Marion was ranked 12th. So that already does catapult her into the rankings. But how high would that catapult her into the rankings? And then I should probably fight someone
Wait,
higher.
she's number 2. I just checked.
Oh, really?
Holly
Number 2
Holm?
women bantamweight division. Here, this particular link. Yeah, it's kind of
Well,
interesting.
there you go.
Wow, that could be right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. That's
All
good.
right.
Well, then Misha Tate should definitely go for
Yeah,
that one.
just
There's the link.
skyrocketing.
There's the link, James. I sent you the link in the private chat.
Let's see. Says she has a 1-fight win streak. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a high-ranking fighter there. But even though being ranked number 2, Kaelyn, you still think Holly Holmes will have a rough time?
Yeah, it's
At
gonna
this
be a
point
hard
right
fight.
now.
I think it would be a hard fight for her.
Wow.
The thing is, Misha Tate's really great on the ground. I mean, they could strike all day, but
Yeah, Tate's wrestling is really good.
It's pretty hard, and especially with how good of shape Misha Tate is in now, it might be even harder for her than the first time. So, I don't know.
That'll be an interesting fight when they do decide to make that fight.
Mm-hmm.
But as of now, I mean, it's just talk. And Tate got the win. And then we move on to the main event of that evening. Guys, take us through this. Tell us how this fight went.
Kaelyn.
You go. Oh, I was hoping you were gonna have something on it. So
I did see the pre-fight, post-pre-fight workouts that these guys had. Islam had Khabib, and he had an amazing corner, or rather, a group of people around him that what caught my attention about him is his weight cut. He had one of the easiest. Well, I say easiest. Every weight cut's hard, but as a camp, I think what makes a good weight cut is having a lot of good people around you, like he did, instead of being around like a cousin or a family or a child or a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Because it's out there on one of the YouTube. It's a YouTube video now about his weight cut. It was an amazing weight cut, and it just seems so smooth and calm his whole time. He wasn't like freaking out or anything. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on this guy. I think he's going to go a long way because he's a professional now and he has some good.
Yeah, a lot of people have really high hopes for him. But the only thing I really took away from this fight is they had some really good grappling exchanges first round too. So that's kind of just what I took away from it. I was a little distracted for this one, but I did notice that. So that's all that I got for them.
Yeah.
What was the submission finish? It happened in round 4 and it says submission, but they never tell you what submission. So could you guys enlighten us a little bit?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I've heard of that choke. The I don't know choke. I've heard of
I don't remember.
All right. We got Xavier Ortega commenting, "Hey now." Well, hey now to you too, my friend. Hope all is well.
That's right.
Back to the fights.
Xavier.
So it was some pretty good grappling, as you guys are saying. He got the win, and he was ranked number 9th, and that should boost him up higher, even though he did fight a ranked 14th ranked, there we go, let's say it right, opponent. I wonder if it will really shift him higher or just kind of keep him there because he is fighting a guy who was lower ranked.
I don't know. That's a hard one. I never know what happens when you're in that situation. I don't know. They might throw him to the wolves. You never know. They like to do that sometimes.
That's true. That they do.
Yeah.
All right. And that was the fights for the UFC Fight Night last week. In our picks, we were tied 3-4-3.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
And so we have this week's fights with Corey Sanhagen, and TJ Dillashaw. Dillashaw making his comeback after a long layoff. I believe it was because of a suspension, if I recall correctly. But we're going to start.
Pretty serious one.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I wonder what he did that whole time. Like, would he sit in his backyard and just like ponder life? Or was he training the entire time?
I think
like,
he was working.
What was he doing?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think that I watched a little bit of a episode that they did on him, and he said he just did a lot of working on himself and training. So you never know; it could be.
Now, does it mean working on himself?
What does that ever mean? Everyone says that.
Or is he like, I seek professional help?
He may have. I don't know. Probably not like that. He said just spent time with his family and did that kind of thing. So
he had barbecues. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start with the bottom of this card with Adrian Ynez versus Randy Costa. Randy Costa, to me, has the prettiest hair that I think I've ever seen on a fighter.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Wow. And his nickname is the Zohan.
Yeah.
So for any of those people that have not seen that film, that's an Adam Sandler movie where he plays a hairdresser named Zohan. It's very, very like racist stereotypes, but I'm me, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm also not a great person to ask about that, but yeah, I thought it was hilarious. This guy's hair is amazing. I almost want to pick him, but Ynez has a 13-3 record against 6-1. Both fighters are coming off wins. Man, Costa, has 100% KO TKO finishes, whereas Ynez mixes it up.
Yeah, I think that might be why they're matched up. That might be why.
That very well could be. Kaelyn, who is your choice?
Man, I don't know too much about this Randy Costa, but I've seen Adrian Ynez before. I'll pick him. I think he'll probably get this one. I don't know how, but I think he's going to get it.
You're going to pick Ynez. Archie, do you want to get involved in the picks?
Yeah, no, definitely. I was leaning towards Ynez because of the record, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No more experience.
That's what I was basing my pick off of also. If the fight experience wasn't a factor, I would definitely pick Costa because I feel like he'd want to go in there, finish that fight as soon as possible and not mess up his hair. And then he can go back and take photos and be like, hey, check it out, my hair. So that's just my personal opinion of what he would do. I'm probably very wrong. We'll go ahead and move up this card to Miranda Maverick versus Macy Barber. All right. Maverick is coming off of a win with an 11-2 record. Barber is 8-2 and coming off of a loss.
Are they ranked, either one?
They are ranked 13 and 14. Maverick is 13th. Barber's 14th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I am the biggest Macy Barber fan. I love her. I've been watching her. She came off of the Contender Series, and I've been watching her ever since. So I'm rooting for her. She's like one of, I think, her main thing. So her name's The Future. Her thing is that she's pretty young, and she said she has a goal to be the youngest champion aside from John Jones. So I think her last fight, and I don't remember who she fought, but she did get injured. I think it was her knee, or that might have been the fight before, but she had a little hiccup. But she's coming back now, so I can't wait to see this one. I don't know much about Miranda Maverick. I've heard of her, but I don't remember anything really about her. But I would go for Macy Barber no matter what.
How old is Macy right now?
Your pick.
Yeah, how old is Macy right now?
How old is she? Ooh, I don't know.
She might be like 22, 21-ish. I know she was a while back, so maybe 22 now, or maybe 23. I'm not sure.
All right.
Pretty young though.
I'm gonna pick Maverick on this, just because that's a boss last name. And fight experience mostly, because 8-2 or 11-2, versus 8-2. I'm gonna pick Maverick with the experience factor. What about you, Archie? Who you got? I
am gonna lean towards Macy. I think I've heard of her story also, and it's always good we need more good. Not that there's bad stories in UFC, but it's something that works so hard, so young, and starts early, and it takes more efforts and more discipline when you're a young person. I mean, it's all discipline, don't get me wrong, but it's quite an effort and achievement to achieve something so young, and in the UFC too, of all places,
No, you're completely right about that, but I'm also super interested in John Jones's drug problem. Come on, that's good times.
Right.
Yeah,
And his hit and runs. Man, whew, that guy knows how to party.
So I got
you're right about that, though, that somebody working so hard to garner so much success at such a young age is very awesome to hear about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Darren Elkins versus Derek. It'd be Minner, because Miner's with one N, so Minner.
Yeah, it's Minner.
26-9
versus 26-11. Both fighters are coming off wins. Holy cow. All right.
They're not ranked, right? No.
Neither are ranked. No, but man, like that many fights, like whew.
That's a
lot of fights.
Some of the other fighters, they don't even have 10 fights.
Yeah. Well, Darren Elkins has been there for a while, though.
Yep.
I don't remember anything, too memorable of any of his wins. I do remember him, though. But I know Derek Minner is pretty good, too. I would pick him just out of a hunch. I don't know.
All right. That's your pick. What about you, Archie? Who you got?
I'm going to lean towards Darren Elkins in this one. Just because he's a familiar name, face, and I'm just going to go with that.
I'll probably go with Darren Elkins as well, just because of the purely based off experience and less losses. I mean, they both have the same amount of wins, but Elkins has less losses. So I will also pick Darren Elkins. And then we will progress up the card to Kyler Phillips versus Raulian Paiva. I'm pretty sure that's wrong because I don't speak Portuguese, and so I'm not quite sure what goes where when I speak Portuguese. So that's my guess for his name.
Well,
but we have Phillips, who is 14th, ranked 14th.
Oh, yeah.
And Paiva is ranked 12th. Man, this is
fight, I think.
This should be a really good fight. 9-1 versus 20-3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at
both fighters coming off wins in their last performance. And
so you know what? I mean, I'm not sure, but Paiva, he could be having a lot of those professional fights from his home country. They may not all be UFC fights.
Right. Yeah. I wish we would know how many UFC fights specifically there are on that record.
Yeah.
But you never know. But I know Kyler Phillips is very good. I saw a few highlights from his past fights. He's crazy. He's good, though. I'm going to go with him.
He looks crazy. So
yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Tell me, who's your pick?
I think I'm going for Paiva only because of the experience, even though he might have lesser opponents than the UFC from that experience list. But I'm hoping we'll see. We'll see if the experience kind of prevails here. I'm going with Mr. Paiva.
What about you, Kaelyn?
Kyler Phillips. That's my pick.
Going with Kyler. I mean, I've seen Kyler before, and yeah, he is crazy. But I got to go with the experience of Paiva, so I'm going to take Paiva in that.
There's this.
And he's also ranked number 12. Like
he is, yeah. I think it'll be a good fight.
It should be contenders like that, and then we're going to move on to the main event: Corey Sanhagen versus TJ Dillashaw.
Man, we have a lot of bantamweights on this fight card. I think this is like 3 in a row now.
Yeah, a lot of little guys.
Yeah.
I say little because I'm twice their size. Not so much height-wise, but width.
I'm actually a lot bigger than those guys, too.
Oh, yeah, look at you.
Right now.
Straight up boot to the face if they came after you. I understand that.
Yeah, I got like 30 pounds on those guys right now. almost 30 pounds.
We have Dillashaw, who's 17-4 and coming off of a loss and a long hiatus. versus Corey Sanhagen, who's ranked number 2 and is 14-2 and coming off of a win. Sanhagen, he's been fighting pretty consistently as of late. So, I mean, there's no ring rust on him. Dillashaw might have a little bit of ring rust, but I feel like he'll bounce back pretty quick.
Yeah. This one's a hard one. Corey Sanhagen's a good fighter also. I think this definitely isn't easy for TJ Dillashaw to come back to.
Especially ranked number 2.
Yeah.
That's a tall order right there.
When Dillashaw left, he gave up his belt, so he was the champion. So he's no stranger to, being up there. So I have a feeling that Dillashaw is going to come back maybe better than he was. Although I don't know, because the whole steroid thing, I don't know the effects of that, if there were any at all. A lot of people are saying there probably isn't any effects on him now.
After such a long layoff, probably not.
Yeah, but he's already a monster before that anyways. I don't know how much those steroids even really helped him. So I don't think that it's going to be a huge difference. I think it's going to be a hard fight. I still don't know who to pick. I kind of want to say Corey Sanhagen, though. I'm going to lean towards him just because it's such a big question mark for TJ.
I also am going to do that just based off of there's no ring rust on Sanhagen. He's been competing consistently and doing really well, especially to be competing against TJ Dillashaw and to be ranked number 2. I am going to also go with Corey Sanhagen.
What?
Yeah. What about you, Archie? You going to go against the grain and take Dillashaw?
Well, I thought you guys were going against the grain. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dillashaw.
You're going to go Dillashaw?
Yeah. I know.
Right.
I know it's going to make for a good fight, but
we would hope so.
There's been people.
We'll see.
What's his name? Cruz. Dominic Cruz. He was out for a while, and I think Dillashaw is better than Dominic Cruz and coming back and taking care of himself scientifically. Well, I mean, no pun intended, but still, this guy is good.
Hey, man, help me out. I need my roids in my butt. Or where he injects them. I mean, I've just heard that. I mean,
I go for Dillashaw.
You take Dillashaw? All right, folks. Those are our picks for the UFC card that happens tomorrow night. It's the Ultimate Fight Night card with headliners Corey Sanhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. There are some other things going on in the world of MMA that we would, of course, like to discuss. Did you know that Conor McGregor, according to Dana White, has chronic arthritis in his ankles?
I'm sorry. What was that you guys cut out? What did you say?
According to Dana White, Conor McGregor has arthritis in his ankles.
Yeah, I heard that too. And I heard that whole thing about him asking if he could tape his ankles or something, and then he chose not to. I think, I don't know, before I thought maybe that is why I give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm hearing so many things now. It's like, okay, maybe it's not, I don't know who's covering up for who.
Yeah,
I don't know. That break in his shin, though, is a pretty serious one. I don't know. I almost feel like you have to have some kind of injury before for that to happen. But I don't know how hard he kicked him and where exactly. And, Dustin said he checked it. I don't remember seeing that exactly. I think maybe he just kicked him in a hard spot really hard. And maybe he just wasn't nourished appropriately just because he did kind of have a little bit of a layoff. He always has layoffs in between his fights because he doesn't have to fight anymore for money anyway. But I think that it's very possible that he could have had an injury, and he's probably just not as prepared as he normally was when he was fighting more often. Your body I don't want to say numb, but your body gets conditioned to take a lot of those a lot better rather than taking so much time off in between your fights. You kind of have to rebuild that up again before. Poirier's had that, so he's never really stopped. He's always been kind of tough, and he already beat him once already. I don't know. McGregor seemed a little off after that fight. He's kind of had some not weird, but he was being kind of a jackass, more than normal.
Well, that's because according to him, Poirier's woman was sliding into his DMs. So I can understand why it's a weird situation. It's awkward.
It could have been
he has his own whiskey with Proper 12. Maybe he should invest in a dairy company and vitamins. Good luck,
So
my
Justin-
friend.
There you go.
But as it pertains to Dana White commenting on it, let's be real. Conor McGregor's the cash cow. So
Yeah.
you're going to want to protect that no matter what. And if
I
that's
used to
the case,
listen-
he should wrap his legs.
Yeah, I used to listen very carefully to Dana White before. Now I don't really take everything that he says,
Take
as
it
the
with a grain of
truth,
salt.
because you never know. Yeah, you never know. And it's a money thing, so I know they're close. So I don't know. Maybe Dana White is making things up. I don't know. You hear a lot of things about Dana White nowadays, and that could just be because of how popular UFC is and his stance on how, everyone was shut down, but he wanted to do things anyway. And he probably takes a lot of heat for that. So,
And we were this close to having a fight at Tachi Palace for the UFC.
I know. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I remember that.
That would have been bonkers.
That would, yeah.
In a great way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had him at the Save Mart Center, but to have it really where MMA really happens.
I know. That would have been nice.
That would have been
There's
dope.
still a chance. There's still a chance. Maybe.
I've heard that.
Maybe
I've
one
heard
day.
that. I'm hoping. I'm looking forward. I hope Tachi Palace comes back. I hope
Yeah.
there's some type of MMA event at Tachi Palace. I miss it. I'm putting it out there as a local fight fan. For those of you who could be watching on the East Coast, we are from Central California. That is our hub for MMA. Tachi Palace over in Lemoore,
Mhm.
California. That's the spot. And they need to do something. Fights are, stuff's back. 559 fights we've had.
Yeah.
We need pro fights back. I don't care where it's at. Let's go to Porterville. Let's watch them fight in a shot glass cage, which is what they used to have for the Warriors cage.
Yeah.
Man, something. Man, let's go Kimbo. I'll watch him fight in my backyard.
Yeah.
Telling you.
That's right.
All right, moving on. Paige Vanzant is taking on Rachel Ostovich tonight in bare knuckle
Interesting.
fighting.
Yeah.
Man, I really don't know who I would take. They did compete in the UFC before. They fought in January of 2019. Vanzant won by armbar submission, but this is bare knuckle like boxing, so different. No submissions here.
Right. I was never really sold on Paige Vanzant when she was in the UFC as far as being, the best fighter. I know she makes a lot of money. She's really good to market,
But did you follow her on Instagram?
No.
Okay, well then that's
I'm sure you guys do. I don't
Not
need to.
not your demographic. Let's be honest.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm like, I'm sure she's great to have for any fight organization, but when it came down to watching her fights and you're like, well, I kind of lost the interest as far as her being like a champion. I'm sure she's fun to watch no matter what, but also her first BKFC fight, I was actually impressed because I thought she would have done a lot worse, and I thought she would have taken way more damage than she did. So I was kind of impressed. So this one will be interesting. I don't know about Rachel Ostovich and how she is with her traditional boxing or how much damage she could take. I think Paige might get this one, but it's kind of a question mark to me. I don't know.
Now, I know these are professional female fighters. I still think it'd be awesome to see just one time. I don't care who. Women go after each other and pull each other's hair.
Yeah, well, go to a bar.
No, you're right. No, I just think just one time, just like all the professionalism just gets thrown out the window and they go straight savage like that.
Yeah,
I know that will happen.
I wonder if that's against the rules. Is that against the rules right now?
I imagine it is. I imagine that would be
Hey,
disqualified.
judging by their production, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Right. Somebody's going to do it pretty soon.
They're all, you know what? You made this really exciting. Here's another $100 for your paycheck, even though that probably just doesn't amount to anything for them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see Rachel Ostovich. I kind of feel like Paige is going to get that one, though.
I feel like she is, too, because she has the experience of competing in it.
Yeah.
And I think that will give her the edge. But, I mean, we will see. And, let me see. When does that fight happen? It either happens tonight or tomorrow. I'm not quite sure.
I think it's tonight. Tonight.
It probably is. It's probably going to be on shortly.
Yeah. Their weigh-ins happened yesterday, so I'm pretty sure.
Nope, then it's on tonight. So that will be exciting. And then also, speaking of boxing, Vitor Belfort versus Oscar De La Hoya lands in Los Angeles and has a date finalized.
No way.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, it's September 11th at the Staples Center.
Holy shit.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Now we know.
Wow.
I have to say, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, part of me
I mean,
is
a
for the
little bit. I'm
show
gonna watch
aspect.
it. I will watch it. It makes no difference to me who wins this. I don't care. Might be
Let's
interesting.
backtrack real quick. Rebel Hearted commented, I think Vanzant takes it.
Yeah.
All right. I look forward to seeing that fight. We'll definitely see what happens, and we'll definitely discuss it. That's for sure. We're going back to Vitor versus De La Hoya. I didn't think this would really happen. I mean, there's a lot of talk, but how often do they sign it? I mean, it's starting to become more of a common occurrence where they finally sign the contract, but it's just an exhibition. It's not really taken that seriously, but it is the whole idea of boxing versus MMA. This is a boxing match. De La Hoya has been retired for, I want to say at least 10 years. So it's been quite some time since he's last competed. Vitor, I don't know if he's still in the juice.
I hope so. That was the best.
He's going to need to be, especially if he wants to have that real power.
Both of them. Let them do whatever they want. That would be great. They would make it way more
Let him
interesting.
get steroided out and then just do a line of coke and then go out and fight.
Whatever works, whatever their thing is. I don't know if this is true, but I'm starting to get the feeling a lot of these MMA journalists out there, whoever's posting these headlines and articles, I feel like they're making up a lot of this stuff. So I don't know if this is true. I read one article and I don't remember who it was from, but they were saying that De La Hoya was second guessing what he got himself into. I don't know if that was just a headline to get clicks or whatever. But I am seeing a little bit of that. And I don't know if that's true, but if it is, I think Vitor would win.
Yeah, but
wow.
Oscar De La Hoya is a professional boxer.
He is, you're right.
If anything, he'll go the distance.
Right.
That's what I think it will happen.
Or both of them are just gonna.
If Vitor can come out and just lay hands immediately and catch him, then Vitor's gonna get the win. It goes the distance. Oscar De La Hoya gets the win.
Yeah. Watching Mike Tyson and his fight that he did, I mean, he looked great, but it also kind of looked like neither of them really wanted to knock each other out. So I don't know if this is like that kind of.
Why try so hard?
I know, but man, that's the whole point. I wish.
So
why didn't
Mayweather knock out that one guy? They went like 8 rounds at Jake Paul, one of the Pauls. Mayweather did not knock him out.
It's the exhibition, man. And so that cheddar.
I don't know if that's agreed upon or not. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes,
True.
I don't know. These guys just want their money and go and probably don't want to take damage, I would assume. But I don't know.
We have Rebel Hearted commenting. This was about the earlier story we discussed about Paige Vanzant. The fight is tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then also commented, TRT Vitor or regular Vitor? Yeah, TRT Vitor is who we want to see. We want to see that backing. We want to see that shreddedness. That's awesome. It's on now. Hey, that's an illegal website, Archie. You're not supposed to have.
Wait, let me get out of there. And somehow we just got hacked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bad. Rebel Hearted also commented, does Oscar's party life affect his gas tank? Well, hopefully Oscar will get it together and be ready for the fight and be properly trained. If not, Vitor, you don't hear about him partying, and if he's on TRT, he's going to starch him hard. So that's what I think.
I don't think De La Hoya is very serious about this. I don't think he is. I think he talked about
it's just
it.
A check?
I think he talked about it, and then it just came to happen, and he's probably like, oh, crap, now I'm in this, doing this. I don't know. I get the feeling he's not really in this. I don't think he's taking training that seriously, and he's old. I mean, come on. How well can a training camp go if, you're already done? You're going to run into a lot of issues, so
yeah,
I don't know.
You hit it right in the spot with Oscar. I mean, even this rebel-hearted, he has a party life right now. He doesn't have a workout life. Where Vitor and old MMA guys, for whatever reason, they still work out. Not whatever, but they're more prone to keep working out.
Older ones, I feel like, younger fighters.
Oh, not so much. But right
Yeah,
now,
they're
between
both
Vitor and
training camp, and
Oscar,
that's it.
Vitor's working out, and Oscar definitely not as much.
Yeah, I feel like because Oscar, I think he definitely still has a party life going on right now, is what it kind of looks like. I don't know if you guys saw when he was commentating on. Man, I don't know what fight it was. This is one of those exhibitions. I don't remember, but people were even saying he looked like he was pretty high for that too. So I don't expect De La Hoya to be all nowadays. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but I heard a bunch of people talking about it. So
yeah, I think I got to see a clip where he was kind of talking inebriated. You could clearly tell that he was talking not himself.
He was a little too hyped up, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Rebel Hearted commented again. Agreed. Per Uncle Dana, Coke ain't cheap. You are right, my friend. Coke is not cheap. Not that I know. I've never done that. Like, I don't do drugs. But I imagine, like, drugs are expensive after a period of time. And, yeah, that's why, you know what? I'm telling you, let them both get steroided out, do a line of Coke, and then let them go out there and just fight.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's gloves come off, like, there you go. It just becomes bare-knuckle fighting.
Might as well.
Awesome. All right. That's all we got for this week, folks. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And we will see you next time on the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Have a good night.
You got it. Good job, James.